Welcome to the 290 Mo podcast. I appreciate your time. If you could, introduce yourself for my viewers and listeners.
Hi everyone, I'm Yelena Popovic. I am the writer, director, and the producer of this new film called Moses the Black. And I'm happy to be here.
Great, happy to have you. Who else we got in the building?
Yo, I'm JMB Bobby Hill. Y'all probably familiar with me already. I'm a student of Miss Yelena's, and I'm excited to be in here.
For sure. Got my special guest. He gonna be right next to me. He gonna be holding it down, doing questions and as part of the interview as well. Gonna introduce yourself, my boy.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Lowski, L.O. Don't forget the ski, man. Lot podcast, tapping in on my boy 290 Mo.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Make sure y'all follow the Lot Podcast on everything that the Lot Podcast is on, man. They hot.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this interview was great because I've been able to kind of get aspects of the film from all different directions. You know what I'm saying? From kind of the early stages, from Bobby kind of telling me stuff like, man, don't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. From them stages, you know what I'm saying, to being able to interview the Chicago cast. You know what I'm saying? So, real quick, can I get you guys' reaction of the film and how you guys are able to see it? Like, what was you guys' reaction?
Well, why don't Bobby go? You're like, I'm a director and a writer, so I can never be too objective.
Okay. My reaction to the film, I expected it to be nothing less than like top notch, just based off like, the individuals that was involved in creating the film, and after seeing the scenes with my own two eyes and shit. So I expected it to be like some top notch shit. However, when she tied the story together, had, bounced back and forth and shit, you know what I'm saying? I ain't know, because I ain't see them Egypt scenes and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I ain't know how that shit was gonna come off.
Yeah.
But that shit came off like very, 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 very swell. And even the guy, how you pronounce his name? Chewbacca?
Oh, the guy, Chikwudi Iwuji.
Yeah,
the actor.
That's a name, boy.
Hey, look, Chakudi Awudi, that nigga went crazy, bro. Like, he did his thing, bro. Like, he really just take you to a different space and shit. Even, like, I absorbed his emotions. The emotions he was projecting on that film, I absorbed that shit through television. So, man, it came out way, way, way better than I imagined, bro. Oh, well.
No, that sounds great what you're saying, but for me, I must say the biggest challenge was particularly that, like how is this story? Because I was originally balancing this. First, it was going to be 4th century story. Then I decided to tell the story in Chicago, and then there was this challenge: how much of a story of Saint Moses from 4th century do I include? Not for any other reason, but to make it part of the story that I'm telling. And how do I make that balance where it works effortlessly? It's not like in your face, it's not like throwing you out of the story and things like that. So that was the biggest challenge. And actually, because for me, the story of redemption was the most important kind of aspect of the story. And it worked, but when I was really pleased was when, after we did the music, I worked really closely with the composer, and after seeing a cut with actual music done, I realized that the redemption really, really resonated, and the things were really smooth, and I was at peace. I was really happy. And not to mention that when I was waiting for Omar Epps to see the movie, because he's like super critical. I mean, he did an amazing job, but I know he's very picky, and when he gave me thumbs up, I was like, okay, I guess I've done something right. So that's because you can't be that objective with your own work. You see it 1,000 times. You're in the editing studio for 10 hours a day for many, many weeks, and after a while, you just have to ask other people how they feel ultimately.
And then I got plenty questions about the cast, but one I want to know: you had said that at first you was gonna stick with it being like a ancient movie, and how did you go from that to it being from the ancient times to Chicago, and then not only from Chicago, but the story that is kind of based off of is rooted in rich Chicago history. So how did you go from not even being in current days to being in current days with a rich story like that?
No, that's a very good question. I originally, I think it was around 2018. It was before I was going to shoot my previous film, Man of God. I read about St. Moses even before that, but in particularly, I don't know why, it was one moment when I reread about him. And maybe because I was about to do a movie about this Greek Orthodox saint, so I wrote a script about that. I was like blown away again by his courage, by his repentance. And what really blew my mind was the way he died. You know, like I have a thing with that. Like how, like even when people ask me like, oh, do you believe? Are you a believer? I'm like, well, I'm going to find out when I die what kind of believer I am. Like, you know, that's basically, I mean, I'd like to believe I am. And God has played such a big part, not big part, everything. I mean, I wasn't for my faith, I wouldn't even be around. I can say that for certain. But it was like, so on that question, it was that courage, that freedom that he attained, that he could just say, hey, you know what? I live by the sword, and it's only right for me to die by the sword, but not to just go in vain, but to glorify his master, his Lord Jesus Christ. And that, to me, I was just blown away by that. And then I was wrestling with a story in the 4th century, but, you know, as a writer and director, I had to be honest with myself. Let me tell you, I'm telling this story. I'm using a lot of, you know, facts about his life. Some of them, they're facts, they're written down. There are a lot of things there. Obviously, it's a 4th century. He died in 405. That you have a freedom to, as an artist, to kind of explore. So what I had to do, like I had to insert drama, conflict. It's all these things that are moving story forward and make it for a good movie. Well, for some reason, when I was telling the story in the 4th century, I struggled with that a lot. And to a point where at one point I put a story aside. I was thinking, you know, my creative juices were running out because I'm about to film Man of God. It's a lot of energy. But then even after that, I was struggling. And then I thought, but how about I tell a story in the present day? And it was in one particular moment that I thought of Chicago. Is it because I came to Chicago a few times? I'm from Serbia. A lot of Serbs that immigrate to U.S. live in Chicago, and I know Chicago also, you know, is an inner city, like whether it's Baltimore or Chicago. You know, you have a lot of issues with crime, with a lot of suffering, right? Which I can relate to. Maybe not so much crime, but suffering definitely. You know, and I said, oh, Chicago would be a perfect place. I like the city, and then this is the main reason. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to even attempt to tell a story of St. Moses the Black, even in any shape or form, out of respect to the saint that I have so much love for. Now, this story in Chicago has to be so authentic and so real in order for the story of the saint to be believable. Otherwise, if I tell a story about Chicago that it's not story of Chicago, but just some imaginary story of Chicago, then that's not going to work. So that's when I met providentially Reginald Akeem Berry, who was on your show. And that was like a miracle, you know, because he saw himself in the story of St. Moses and he opened his arms. And we can talk a little deeper about this. You know that I was actually, Reggie told me to watch a documentary after he decided to get on board and help me out and help me create the story. It was already, the script was somewhat there, the dialogues were there, but now I have to infuse the reality in the characters. I mean, the main character was called the man, the girl was called the girl, you know, even though the dialogues with the grandmother, it was already there, you know, this kind of spiritual side I was able to write in, but I needed a real story of a gangster. And basically I was just you know, he was very he was super supportive, and then he brought on, this is what I want to say. So basically he told me, watch this documentary before we meet the second time. And that's another miraculous event. And why am I saying that? I watched a wrong documentary. He tells me, no, this is a true story. He tells me, watch this and this documentary. And I type in on YouTube, and because there were similar titles, I watch a documentary That's not a documentary he wanted me to see. But the person who was in that documentary was on a repeat all the time. It's somebody that's very well known in the West Side Chicago who is not amongst living anymore. And I fell in love with his story, and I was looking at this guy, and I'm like, there's something about this guy that would just kind of parallels St. Moses the Black. There's so much integrity in this dude. And so when I met Reggie, I was like, okay, so let's, how do we integrate? I know it's going to be a story that you're going to help me write, but this particular person, he goes like, what kind of documentary did you watch? I'm like, well, I watched what you told me to watch. No, but you watched the wrong documentary. But it happened that the person that I had interest in was somebody that was very close to him. I mean, his eyes teared up. And then we start exploring Reggie's story and the story of the gentleman that this movie pays in a way a graceful tribute to. And it's not a story of him, but it pays a tribute because I felt that maybe his story was left in the murky waters. It's somebody that lost their life in 1994. You guys can elaborate, and I'm going to leave it who that is, But I felt that there was a lot of conspiracies, and I felt that that's just my gut feeling, that he was, even though he was a foe, he was a gangster, even though he did what he did, he had a lot of integrity. For sure. And this is where I felt St. Moses must have had that kind of heart. When he was a gangster, he was very feared, brutal gangster. But you have to have a heart. You have to have some kind of integrity, some kind of a fertile soil for the word of God to resonate into that kind of heart. And that's what St. Moses did. That's why he was able to transform, and not only transform, but become a very holy man and set an example for others. And it was this particular person that I really resonated with, and Reggie knew him. And he was very emotional when I said, well, you know what? Can we somehow include this? So, yes, we didn't make a movie about him, but we paid a tribute to him. And that's another miracle. And it was from that story that something happened, because I ask, the whole story of revenge, this is a story of a gangster coming out of prison and wanting to revenge. Why did I choose that plot? That was my idea. Because revenge is something that not only gangsters can relate to. I can relate to. Anybody can relate to that. If you lose your brother, your loved ones, God forbid your children, I don't care how holy or peaceful you are, you might think of going and revenging. I'm not saying it's justified, right? But it's not something that nobody would think about. So even that plot, I wanted to give this main character something that it's more human. It's not just, I'm going back home and I'm just going to go killing a bunch of people for the sake of killing. That's not the case. That's not the case. And that's why, and slowly this character then meets St. Moses and goes slowly through transformation, But I just wanted to mention that Reginald Kimberry played a huge role by seeing himself in the story of St. Moses the Black, and this other a person who I'm not gonna, that's your territory. You guys can talk about it if you want to, but I certainly have a lot of respect for, and I was very inspired. I was inspired by that.
Yeah. So, and we're definitely gonna get into that, but I want to get people to make them wait. I want to make them sit here and wait for that. So we're gonna get into the cast, and we're gonna touch on who the story is loosely connected to. But before we get into that, I got one more question. I'm passing to my man Lowski. Bobby, I want to know, like I said, like you've told me about your involvement, I don't know if you were supposed to tell me, but did you ever imagine having as much as a role, and he modest, he very modest, it's, even though he telling me, he's showing me things, I didn't know his role was as big, and it's big to me, brother. I didn't know his role was as big as it was. So did you know throughout this whole process, what, when your role became what it was, what it actually was going to be, I just scrambled that all up. Did you imagine it Did it come out to what you imagined it would be?
And initially, I didn't know for sure if I was even gonna get a role. So I didn't know. But when, Miss Yelena like informed me that I would be participating and playing one of the characters that I had involvement with and, bring it to life and shit, shit, I was excited. I ain't know to what magnitude because initially I didn't know it was gonna be this damn big. You feel me? I'm just knowing like I'm working. I'm having the opportunity to like creating shit. So like I ain't know, bro. So I was just as shocked as shit anybody, shorty, especially out there acting them damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I'm like a star. You feel me? So I ain't know, bro. All that shit hit me left field. I thought this shit was gonna be some Tubi shit. You feel me? This ain't no Tubi shit.
No diss to the Tubi films and the Tubi.
We fuck with Tubi, shorty. We fuck with Tubi. This ain't no Tubi.
But I smell what you stepping in, man. And when you actually seeing it, like when you doing the roles and you doing the takes, did it still translate to what it became on film? Like did it still when you was filming the roles and stuff? When you saw it on film, was it exactly what you did during like the acting part, or was like seeing something totally different?
Well, actually, no, it's identical, like 90% identical. You feel me? I knew the movie was gonna be spectacular because, like, even when we was filming it and the scenes and the people that was acting and shit, like, it was like incredible. Like, seeing Omar Epps, go through his little shit before he actually go and perform. Seeing Deontay Wilder and shit, turning into character, getting into character. Seeing Wiz get into character, like, that shit was, like, surreal. So, like, I knew the shit was gonna be good. I knew it was gonna be good from the get-go. And then, we got that shit, that playback stuff. When you be like, after the thing, we get the playback. So, I get to play back sometime and actually see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that shit look good. But the damn cameraman.
Oh, he's amazing.
Shout out to-
Panayotis Vasilakis. He was my DP. He was DP on Man of God. He's absolutely amazing. And I waited for him. I wanted to work with him, and I was right to do that. He did a fantastic job.
He taught me a lot of new shit. You feel me? Just watching him, observing him. And, like, he a person where, like, the passion in his work, it exudes out his character. So, like, as he working, if you watching him, it can really inspire you. It can really teach you some technical shit. Some shit you don't see. I ain't see that shit on the half, you feel me? So that was just next level type of shit, bro. I ain't gonna cap, bro.
He's amazing. And we didn't know, to repeat this again. When I met Reggie, it was just like, let's try to get this script to have a real Chicago vibe, right? I had this responsibility to do justice not only to St. Moses the Black, but now to people of West Side Chicago that opened their heart to me and put their trust in me. And this is what gave me, I want to tell you, Bobby, you guys gave me strength to go there and fight. And because I felt it was important to fight and not give up. And it wasn't easy. You have to come up with the funds, then you have to come up with more funds, then you have to get famous known actors so you can pre-sell the film, and if that doesn't happen, then you better come up with more funds. And I'm not like a famous director, writer, producer, I'm just Yelena, but I've God on my side, and I'm going to say that because I've my brothers and sisters here that gave me courage, and St. Moses. Let's not forget that. So I did not know when you wrote. Remember, I said, why don't we? When I wrote Loose Dialogue, and I said, okay, you guys now put it in your slang, and I said, why don't we have a character here rap a song while you're hanging out on the sidewalk, and then you wrote the lyrics just like what the main character would rap. We had no idea who that main character was going to be.
No,
If it's going to be an actor, he's going to be a rapper. Maybe we thought maybe it's going to be a rapper. Maybe it's going to be somebody else rapping it. No idea.
no one knows.
But nobody knew. I mean, this is what's the beauty about this, that we really didn't know. We were just dreaming and hoping that this is going to come to tuition.
Definitely
And
dreaming.
and then the first person who came on board was Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
And this was like, I was like, when we got hold of him, I had to wait for a few weeks. You know how it is for him to read the script. And then I waited. I remember I was going to Texas and I was getting off the plane and I was told, get somewhere close to the, I don't know, department store where there is like an internet to see what Wiz is going to get on Zoom and tell you if he likes the script or not. The first thing I hear, he hasn't read it yet. Like, can we do it tomorrow? I'm like, no, can we please do it today? Because I need to know. And then he read the script and called back and got on. I see Wiz showing up on Zoom, and he was so into it. And he decided to play the role of 2-3. He was like, and so he ended up rapping those lines. And but what I wanted when Wiz was on board, and then when 50 later after Omar Epps joined the cast with not just an open heart, but such a dedication because he really believed in this. Then after that, we were like thinking about. I lost my train of thought. Maybe it's this thing that you've like now the poison is working here. You know. So this is funny. Like now I can't.
It's to make us all on an even playing field.
The freaking point. Anyways.
You get
So
it.
Wiz Khalifa got on board first, and then after that, and it was at the end it was 50. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson that wanted to exactly produce, and that's when he said, "Well, I want Baba and Skilla Baby to be
A part
part of it." So I was getting like antsy. Why? Because I wanted guys from Chicago. I wanted people from Chicago to be here. I'm like, okay, Skilla is from Detroit. That can pass, that we can do that. But then we have Ahmad Ferguson, who is amazing actor, who's from Chicago, and I'm like, I'm bringing Bobby and I'm bringing John, and no one else is messing with that because I need real guys. I need to surround Wiz with guys from Chicago. Otherwise, this is going to be like another fake story, right?
Chirac.
So basically, and this is where our little story comes in. When I was like, okay, fine, Wiz is coming in, Skilla is coming in, and Ahmad, obviously great actor. He's been acting
Phenomenal.
since he was like a kid. He's like phenomenal. I'm not worried about him. But Bobby and John, I'm like, I gotta rehearse with you guys, right?
She came all the way out here just
I had to
rehearsing.
come from Champaign. I'm like, guys, because it's 5 of the guys together, So this can be a little tricky if you don't know your lines, if you're not used to being on the set. You can end up being the guy that's stalling the takes, and I did not want to, and I didn't want to do that to them. I wanted to make sure they know their lines and stuff. So we met at your uncle's. Where was that?
Oh yeah, my uncle got a dance facility right there on Lockwood, Chicago Avenue. I know y'all probably know about it and shit. But it's a part of Westside Health Authority affiliated.
So what happens? I get there, John. I get dropped off by my husband and
Mr.
Alex, and I'm like, so we get in there, right? And we're gonna rehearse all this. John comes in with his girlfriend, so it's just like Bobby, John, his girlfriend, and myself. And what happens was now you can go there. You can go there. I'm gonna tell a second. I'm gonna tell a second part of the story how I reacted. But you can tell him how you were making trips to the corner.
So I bring her to the neighborhood, my neighborhood, from, Chicago Avenue, Lockwood, Laura, Latrobe, in that area, right? And in the midst of, us, doing our job within the studios, in between time, I'm making like quick little pit stops. You feel me? Like I just did. You feel me? I'm making quick little pit stops. Like, all right, I'm finna go to the corner. I'll be right back real quick. Just give me 1 second. And
No, no, let me continue now.
just go ahead, do your shit.
Now he's making his pit stops, right? So we're rehearsing, right? And he comes in and out, and John sits there, and he goes like, Bobby, if anybody comes here, I'm out of here, man.
No, for
And
sure.
I'm like, excuse me? And I'm like, okay, hold on. And I get up and I look outside. I'm like, there's nobody here, okay?
No, they won't.
And you stop making your pit stops. You sit here, and we're gonna finish a rehearsal. And if somebody's coming, they're gonna have to wait in front of the door. I'm not leaving this place till the rehearsal is finished.
She was adamant on that.
I'm like, that's his.
She was adamant on
No
that.
one's coming. No one's coming. You're just like we gotta finish this. I came here today. You guys have to perform on the set, and they were looking at me like, okay, no problem. And then we were like, then nobody was. You were not making pit stops after that.
No, we
And then
completed
we
the job.
completed. We completed the job, but this guy is a natural.
Yeah, thank you.
After he's got like first, he gonna get over the lines, and stuff, and I told him, listen, pay attention not just to your own dialogue, but what other people are saying, because there's 5 of you guys, and you don't want to be like speaking over each other, right? The moment we got into it, like both of you guys, and you, he was like flying. I was sitting there.
That's the words we use it.
I'm like, he is a talent, man. This guy is a talent. Not only rapping, but you really, I mean,
Thank you.
for whoever is listening, you can have a career in acting too.
You gave me one.
You already know for you, right? So what was it like being from Chicago? What it's like being from Chicago, being able to be, acting in the film, like, with some of the Omar Epps, one of the greats, those people. You got 50 producing, with doing things like Power and all that. Like, what it's like being a part of something like that.
Bro, honestly, bro, it was like, I look at it like a manifestation due to the individuals that's involved in the film. Like 50 Cent, I literally started like creating lyrics on paper and shit because of 50 Cent. Like, he sparked like some type of intelligence. Him and Alicia Keys, around that time, they was coming out around the same time and shit. But being able to be next to him, shake his hand, have conversation with him and dialogue and shit, that shit was like surreal. And then Wiz Khalifa, I had a point, like, I was going back and forth to prison like all my younger years and shit. So, one time when I hit the streets, I was able to get up on Wiz Khalifa and shit. Too many people weren't really bumping his shit out here, but I found the likeness to that man, you feel me, playing with his beats and shit. And I got the opportunity. I even like wrote over his beats. So I got songs on Wiz Khalifa beats, you feel me? And put this shit in the jails and all type of shit. And then that shit was surreal, bro, to actually be face to face with that man, conversating with that man. And then him playing the nigga on my eye. He playing the character 923, bro. Like, that's my brother, bro. And I was like, it just was surreal. It was just really surreal on Bro Grave.
And Yelena, so being, putting together a movie, being a director and a writer, like, what are you looking for, like, being a director? Like, what's something you look for when you're looking for your cast, when you're picking the people for your cast?
I like, actually, I always quote what John Huston used to say, that he directs in a casting room. I'm like one of those actors directors that I pick people that I know will be real, that you would believe when you see them, whatever, even if they're not saying anything, you're going to believe this is who they are. And to me, this is the most important part. Yes, I like to have great actors, obviously, and I had great actors in the movie, but that's why I'm also comfortable working with people that might not have that much experience. If they're right for the role, and if they're willing to take direction like Bobby did and everybody else, and I really, we have this good vibe going on, and as a director, you have to gain trust from your actors. That's the most important thing. So people can open up to you, so they can feel vulnerable and open, and so they can give that performance that I'm looking forward.
And with giving like that authentic side of Chicago, were you like nervous at a backlash at all? Like, how people always give us Chicago this bad image, or like, it's just it's just all a bunch of killing here. Like, were you worried about like that image being, when you picking your cast?
Well, you know what? Even just what I just told you about the rehearsal, even when apparently somebody from Chicago was worried, I was not worried.
No, she a gangster, Slam.
I was not worried. No, I was not worried.
With it.
But
Go
no,
ahead.
no, but why am I saying this? I've received so much love, and there's something about me. Maybe because where I come from, what I've been through in my life. When I say I'm here, standing today because of God, because of my faith, I know what it means to live on faith. So I feel comfortable around people that suffer. And somebody would say, some ill-meaning person or ignorant person might say, well, misery breeds company, right? But I would say to those people that everything that is esteemed in as something very high and important in this world is abomination to God. And that when we are weak, that's when we are strong. And this is why coming to 262 South Pulaski, for me, it was a joy. Not only that I didn't feel uncomfortable, I felt joyful. I felt at home. And I felt alive. And I will be forever grateful for this.
I like that. I don't feel like many people would take that chance, so I like that you did that. So
Well, I can't. What I'm gonna do? Come here, like, and put some little small voice and say I was in Chicago and I worked on a movie and never show up in the tough neighborhood. I don't know. And then I'm this movie director, pretending how I care. Well, I'm not gonna do that.
that's right.
On bro.
She said, "Oh, bro, yeah."
Speaking of bro, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of words. It's a lot of Chicago words, slang, and lingo throughout the film. What was it like being like people telling you like what some of these words mean? Like it's a word in the movie. I won't spoil the movie, but it's a word that that I don't know if you was familiar with, but if it was any word, what was it like finding out the meaning to some of these words?
Well, I wrote the words in my own capacity. Obviously, Bobby and everybody else, they put it in their own language. And they had to explain to me what those words meant. But yeah, it's like they need to sound, the language needs to sound like you're in Chicago, not like you're somewhere else. And this was very important to me. So I went all the way. And what was interesting, remember when I said to you guys, I'm like, okay, let's put it in your own slang, but let's keep certain words to a minimum. Let's not overdo it with certain words. And you know what the response was? Remember what you guys told me? You were like, thank you. Because sometimes you see yourself portrayed in the movies, and this is what you told me. We don't speak like that. They overdo it. Like they make it sound like you're not human. That's not the goal. Was to make it real, not what it's not. Not whether it's too little or just what it is, And my main goal was to actually show the story of redemption. That was my main goal. That's why I needed a reality. How do you hook people if it's not real? I mean, you can't fake things and expect people to get moved by things.
No, for sure. For sure.
Another question I got for you all. You mentioned like at stages of the movie not knowing who certain cast members was gonna be, but when it was said and done, you ended up with an all-star cast. So it's like, and then even watching the movie, a lot of the stars could have they all got their proper spotlight. Like nobody was like a over background person, even Bobby Hill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, what was it just like managing an all-star cast like that? You know what I'm saying? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Did you expect to have a cast full of heavy hitting actors and recording artists, or did it all happen, you know what I'm saying, as the film came together?
Well, I was hoping I would get enough people that we can get exposure for the film. How it happened, I told you, it just happened because I believe the script was very strong, thanks to the help from Reginald Akimberry, from Bobby, from everybody else who helped me shape the story in a very realistic way. I think I brought a lot of heart to the story. That's kind of important thing to me, for the story to be meaningful and has a good message. working with everybody, you know, it was all about the story for me. So I just loved all my actors. I love working with actors. So whether it was it was Wiz, or it was Bobby, or it was anybody else, I just focused. I wanted to get the best out of them, and that was my only premise. You see, I obviously have respect for them. I have respect for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're a very famous person or you're less famous. I just love
That's
people.
very true. That's true.
And that's, I think, a little bit of humility. It doesn't hurt. I think that gives us strength. You know, humility is strength, is not weakness. You know, and I think that even everybody on the set. I mean, you can even last night. I remember people that were doing makeup. The lady who did makeup says, "Please, can you please call me for another project, because this is one of the projects when I felt so positive, so good, and this is what I kind of feel very proud of, that everybody was not only respected, but people really did this from their heart, and they enjoyed the process, and made me enjoy the process. So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't, I wasn't nervous. I was looking forward to it, you know, and go ahead.
No, it was like a adventure, bro. Like, for me, it was new, so I never knew what to expect each day. But each day I woke up, I was looking forward to an adventure. And the way, the atmosphere that Miss Yelena created, as well as Alex, you know, because he's very much one of them guys, you know. But they created a fucking amazing atmosphere, bro. Like, in the fucking chilling area, we got fucking hella fucking arcade games. I'm talking about every arcade game you can fucking think of, bro. Like, so you just right there chilling, just waiting. You know, people coming in dressing and shit, you know, everybody polite, have manners, considerate, respect, no one yelling at somebody. Like, even for the famous motherfuckers, bro, they wasn't even acting like bougie or no shit. Like, they ain't acting like, you don't feel no hate. You don't feel no negativity in that motherfucker, bro. Like, it was very, very, very great. So it's like, I don't know. And I guess because she led with love, like she convinced people with her passion for what she was trying to do, like her objective. Like, initially, you know, what led her to write the film, if from my understanding, is from the passion of learning the story behind these certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? And which led her in different directions and shit. So it's like everything that just happened, I use the word manifest because in my life it's manifestation. However, though, overall and total, bro, everything that just happened was like meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was meant to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of that, you know who said that to me from the very beginning? It was Wiz. When I met Wiz in person after we were on the Zoom, when he told me he was definitely happy to be part of the project and play the role of 2-3. Then we met in person in LA, and it was one thing that he told me that I was pleasantly surprised, and it kind of gave me courage, I must say, and I thanked him for that in LA, the premiere. He said, "You know what? I'm not worried. Like, I don't worry how long it takes, because I was telling him, you know, we were working on this. I don't know exact dates." He goes like, "Don't worry about it." He said, "I really believe there's something about this project that's meant to be, and whoever is meant to be part of this will be part of this. Who is not, they're gonna fall off." And hearing it from him, like, I was like, okay, definitely, that sounds great, you know. And I always remember that, and that really kind of, there were moments, believe me, when it was like things were gonna either break or continue. It wasn't easy, but it worked out, you know. And those are that's what you know, that's what makes it beautiful. I think that at the end I can say that I really had help from above, and that makes me feel good. You know, it wasn't, yes, I used my talents, we all used our hard work, but we had a blessing on this project, and that's really special.
It was divine and adventure. It was like, this shit was divine, bro.
What was your favorite time on set?
My favorite time on set, Well, it was actually one of the days I was like kind of comfortable because in the beginning, like, you know, being around that much star power, and there was a lot of star power, being around that much star power, it was kind of intimidating at first. I admit that. So, you know, I was like kind of reserved. I wasn't like showcasing my actual personality and shit.
Yeah.
I was like mindful of what I did and shit at the time. But like it was one of them days we was filming when we was I think it was some jail scenes. And I stayed outside. I ain't going inside
It
the
was
building.
Omar
Yeah.
or Quavo, one of them.
Was Quavo still there? It was one of them. No, Quavo was gone by this time.
Okay, so it's Omar.
So it was Omar. And instead of going inside to be with the rest of the set and stuff, I sat outside to get some of the fresh air and shit. And I actually like started loosening up and like rotating with the staff. First and foremost, the staff that was there was fucking like amazing, bro. Like I never seen no shit like this. Like, so say if you got like perspiration, which is like little pieces of sweat.
I was gonna say, cause what the fuck is that? You mean precipitation?
You say the word,
No, ain't it?
look, shorty, this some shit you only see on TV.
Right.
Shorty, they coming over there to like actually like cool that motherfucker off. Like they'll fan you. Like if something misplaced or out of order on your, you know, attire and shit like that. Slam, bro, they fixing that shit on you like. And then that first day Deontay Wilder came out, bro, the ladies went crazy, bro. They was all over ladies. They was going crazy. I was talking about he had like 4 motherfuckers like with electrical fans and waving fans and shit. He ain't even sweating, shorty. So I'm like,
dang, that's crazy.
yeah, that shit was crazy, bro. Like every time we popped outside, we brought the town outside. Motherfuckers lying to me talking about, oh, can I get a picture with you? Oh, I follow you. Never even heard of me, shorty. Oh, I'm JMB Bobby Hill. Oh, I follow you. Yeah, I love you. I'm like, yeah, they lying like what?
They have me a couple times. Sometimes they like take a picture. I'm like, I wasn't in the movie. They was like,
You fucking come on.
I'm like, all right.
By the way, Deontay was amazing.
He was,
What a
man.
great person.
Real
Great
humble.
person. That was like another blessing that we had. It was just
Love that man.
incredible.
Yeah.
And it was something incredible. Now I'm looking at it from I got 2 boys, you know, and they're both in sports, and there's always this famous like thing, like, hey, the footwork seems to be the most important part of any kind of sport. It's either defense or footwork. It's one or the other. I don't care whether it's basketball or football and not to mention boxing. And it was incredible to see Deontay like walk into on the set where there was a boxing ring, and Wiz and him were about to shoot a scene, right? So Wiz is in the corner. Wiz is a good fighter. Wiz is like really training every day and he's phenomenal. But Deontay is a heavyweight champion. So Deontay like literally like puts his foot on that stage, and like literally 2 minutes later, that footwork, it was not even human, man. Yeah. He was drenched in sweat, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I was talking to Wiz, I'm like, do we need to? He goes like, man, I need 15 minutes for that kind of sweat, because it's like, even though Wiz is an incredible fighter, but you see the difference between like an incredible fighter, a fighter who like really trains, and the guy who is a champion, you know? That was one thing I remember telling my sons in their sport, you gotta move your feet, dude. I'm like I gotta show them Deontay Wilder, like, and how he got sweat.
It like this.
No, but literally, like in like the moment he stepped on that, it was just, and he goes like, oh, when I see the ring, that's it. I'm alive. I go. You know, I was like, I've never seen anything like that. You know, he was.
Now, with the like, so that ring is kind of prevalent throughout the film. That boxing ring. So was that always a part of the film, and then you guys happened just to get fighters in Wilder and Wiz with his fighting background, and it all just worked out like that?
Well, that ring was part of like a hideout. It was part of it wasn't like it wasn't a boxing place. It was their hideout where they would hang out. The gang would hang out, and they would meet and fight. You know, like as you know, I mean, Reggie can explain to you this better than I can that fighting is a big part of being part of the gang. You know, you gotta protect your corners. You gotta, you know, some of the fighters are better than others. They train. You know, so that was like part of their hideout. So it wasn't necessarily a boxing place. It was part of the hideout, and boxing ring was there, and it was where they spent a lot of time. And one of the guys, which I'm not mentioning the name. You can, if you want,
I'm gonna
if
do
you
it
want
now.
later. You're gonna do it now.
Yeah.
It's a silent, graceful tribute to who the main character would like to revenge. Right? You see him in that ring in the flashback, and he was probably one of the greatest fighters on the streets.
And I think that this is like a great segue into it, because I just want to say, as somebody who's, for the most part, I can't think of any Chicago like content that I've consumed that was like, yeah, that's authentic. Like every time I see it, it's like, what the hell? Like, y'all didn't have nobody from Chicago around that like told y'all like, hell no, you can't do this, you can't say that. And just the like, I think you said the 4th century stuff was your favorite. Like my favorite stuff was like the current stuff, because it was so accurate. Like with the Instagram messages, and it's so accurate with the videos. Like I know No Wiz is based off of
Pittsburgh.
2-3.
Oh, sorry.
But I didn't know 2-3, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know 2-3 personally, you know what I'm saying? But just it like kind of gave me like Lil Jeff vibes, you know what I'm saying? Just to the current day, you know what I'm saying? Just like the dreads, you know what I'm saying? The way they look, you know what I'm saying? He remind me of Lil Jeff, you know what I'm saying? Just the way the internet has so prevalent, it's like the authenticity is unmatched to anything that I've seen Chicago based to this point.
Oh, bro, Sean.
If it's anything else out there,
Oh, bro, Sean.
and I'm talking about, it's shows that's named after the city, and it's like, how? It's some good parts, but it'd be parts I'd be like, no, it's totally wrong. So that, just for that part alone, you guys are leaps ahead of a lot of Chicago content that's already been out. So I just want to let y'all.
Bro, gratitude, brother. We appreciate that. Bro, great, son.
And me and Corey even talked about that, because he was a part of
Yeah, Corey kept saying that, bro.
Yeah. So,
He kept saying that, bro.
Corey recognized in the script who the tribute was paid to.
yeah. So
He did. So you ain't even have to tell him.
yeah.
No.
Get the fuck out of there.
So
That's real history.
and we're gonna get, because it's loosely depicts, you know what I'm saying, some things that happened to Angelo Roberts.
Yes.
And Angelo Roberts, even me growing up, was always depicted as like a superhero. Like people who talked about him, like my uncles and stuff that talked about him. And we had a DVD, Angelo Roberts DVD documentary that was like going around like cousins, neighborhoods, and they had like footage of him fighting the police, and it's like everybody telling the stories about him and how they had his coffin sitting up because they ain't want nobody looking down on him, and all type of stuff. So it was like, that's another thing, the authenticity. Then you guys are telling stories that the city has, but we don't get like the spotlight on it.
Yeah.
Like we literally looked at him as a superhero, but nobody talk about it. We don't get no documentary. It's documentaries, but nobody brings like how Miss Yelena did it. So that's another thing that pushed our way ahead of any Chicago content that I've seen. So Bobby, when you found out, you know what I'm saying, that Angelo was related to this film, what was your first thoughts?
Shit, I was like, shit, cool. Because, you know, Angelo's story and, like, the details within his story, like, it really showcases a honorable man. It really showcases a man that was fearless and, like, was willing to do what's necessary to advance him and his people, bro. Like, when I think about Angelo, bro, like, I think of, like, a stand-up nigga. You feel me? And just being able to, like, showcase, you know, his resilience, his bravery, and, like, even just, like, his athletic abilities.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, Reggie said that he could have been literally an MMA champion if he took
That's
a different.
that's how they speak about that man.
Yeah.
They speak about that man like, you know, cool, calm, collective. But if he snap,
Humble.
yeah, if he snap, like the nigga snap, you might get your ass kicked or punched on. You never know. But like, nah, he's a very well known guy throughout this motherfucker, bro.
You know that Reggie, I don't know if I'm not saying, but it's true. Told me once he teared up about this whole thing because he knew him very well.
He tear up all the time.
Yeah, and he said there were two people. He says if I can ask God to see them again, I would give anything. My mother and Angela Roberts. So that's how much he meant to Reggie.
They was locked up together.
Yeah, we talking.
And Reggie, I mean, Hakeem and brother Hakeem, that's my family. So he just pulled my coattail at the premiere last night. Like, man, bro, you called me dude on camera. I'm like, oh damn, shorty, I was high. So that ain't no dude. That's my family,
bro.
That's my uncle, bro, and motherfucker play with him. Okay, but on bro grade, that's my family. I love that man with all my heart. But you know, that man literally, Angela was under him. You know what I'm saying? And it was like from based off how, you know, bro explained it to me or family explained it to me, you know, he always like admired that fella. Like always spoke highly of him, admired him and shit like that. And just he honored to even, you know, be blessed with the opportunity to be in his presence. So, you know, Angelo was bigger than life itself. And this before my time. You know, I'm 34. This before my time. So like, yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. Now as we get into the promotion phase, do you guys get into like the reviews and all that stuff? Do you pay attention to that, or do you just let the analytics and stuff like that, or do you just let the film do whatever it's gonna do?
You know, there are some reviews that are coming out naturally before the film, and it always feels good to get a good review, and it helps. And I think we've already gotten a couple of decent reviews.
I'm gonna put mine out.
But
Yes,
also,
put it out, brother.
Put it on my website.
oh, cool, thank you. But ultimately, this is the film for the people. I did this for, you know, when you make authentic movies, when you put your heart out there, when you fight, it's the story of redemption. I had a opportunity to meet Angela's son. Reggie had introduced me to him, and he was first a little bit worried, like that maybe we are making, because the film is not about it. Obviously, it's just a graceful tribute in a way to him. People that know about him will recognize that. It's not a film about him, but his son was naturally worried when Reggie mentioned something. What was incredible about Akeem, he said, "Don't worry, because this is really the film that's made to the glory of God and Jesus Christ." And his son looked at me and he says, "Well, can I have that booklet that you have?" And I gave him the booklet, and he appreciated it. You know, so this is the main thing about this is redemption. It's a story of redemption, and to know that a lot of people that seem to do destructive things on the surface, they can have amazing hearts. And especially those kind of people, women and men, when they change, they can be so incredible and they can be of service to others, which Akeem is one of the examples. And I'm sure if Angelo was here with us today, I'm sure he'll be one of the guys that would do so much more good to help people to get on the right path.
For sure.
If I may add as well, Hakeem, Reginald, whichever one y'all know him by, bro, we walk past this nigga every day. Like literally, bro, like we got greatness in our face, bro, and we bypass this guy every day, bro. Like I ain't met a nigga like to his capacity today that's stunning, bro, with his testimony and like his characteristics and his attributes. That man a good guy, bro. Fuck that. Like, he that guy, bro. On bro graves. Like, I don't give a fuck what gang he claiming. Or he don't gang bang no more. But for sure, overall, bro, that man is a good brother, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He around here helping niggas for sure. Before this shit ever came upon, he was still employing niggas and giving niggas opportunity, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I met the nigga, bro, with a switch on me, you feel me? He ain't judged me or shit, bro. Like, I lost some pills. You know, he helping me find the motherfucker.
Well, he helped.
You're real.
No, he
Helped you. He helped a lot of people, and he's still helping people.
I ain't seen him for a year. When he came to me about Miss Yelena, I been got fired. You know, we just so happen to move right around the corner from him.
Mm.
And I see his cars out there every day, but you know, I don't see him. And just out the blue, he just thought of me, bro. And he thought of me because that time span that we did spend, like, we was really bonded. I don't know my father, none of that shit, you feel me? And, you know, I'm a part of a fake-ass brotherhood and shit, but that's what it is, a fake-ass brotherhood. What this guy showed me, bro, was, like, true, genuine, authenticity. And he thought of me and brought me along for the project.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bro, great.
And that's crazy. You did like a domino effect. Cause he brought you along, then Bobby brought me along, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I'm bringing Lowski, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
that's so cool. It's a great
Dude, I be talking to him all the time.
You try.
bro, that's what I told him. I'm like, Bobby gonna be here, you know what I'm saying?
And I don't know if you heard, but Bobby's songs are in
Yeah, what? What?
Okay.
Not. That's why I said I don't. He super modest. Like, he telling me like, yeah, I did this, I did that, but he ain't say like, yeah, my song gonna play like right smack in the middle, and the end, like all through, like, and it was perfect. It wasn't forced or anything. And then he's playing me music after the film. I'm like, I hope that's on the soundtrack, cause that go with the movie too.
Wiz raps to his.
Yeah, I got Wiz Khalifa. Well,
he wrote. Well, thank God. But Wiz was incredible. He wrote amazing songs for the soundtrack. As a matter of fact, you should. What's the last one? You can hum to it.
Too blessed to be stressed. Yeah. Too blessed to be stressed. Yeah.
We gonna call him PA to shoot the video, man.
Oh, man, we can shoot that motherfucker anywhere.
Bro, man.
We too blessed to be stressed. Bro, great.
Yeah, man. So definitely, man. Before you got any questions for me?
Oh no, I'm enjoying listening to this story because I got
yeah, for sure.
Love it.
Well, like, if I could, man, I could keep y'all forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and brother Akeem, his first interview was almost 3 hours long, just because he got, like you said, he had an amazing story, and it's like watching the documentaries and stuff that you hear about growing up here, like hearing it firsthand testimony from a brother that lived through that. You know what I'm saying? And then successful today, you know what I'm saying? Brothers live through that, but they be messed up and man gone and in certain places, but that brother still here making a difference, you know what I'm saying? And made a domino effect all the way.
I believe.
Studio on the west side of Chicago.
I believe, I told him this. I believe God kept him together so he can help with this. Without him, we wouldn't have a project.
Oh yeah, it definitely's gonna blow up there, bro. It's definitely gonna blow up. So, man, I definitely appreciate you guys coming through, sharing your story. I appreciate you guys sharing this with me. Movie is officially in theaters January 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Black. I'm going again to see it in official theaters. I'm taking a group.
Take all your friends. Go see it. More people see it, longer it's gonna be.
Taking them. When Bobby was in the first trailer, so all the little trailers and snippets coming out, I'm trying to watch it to see when Bobby in it. He wasn't in the first like couple ones.
No, actually, I was in the first trailer. But I got the hoodie on.
Oh yeah, you see
really
it? Yeah, you can't see it at all.
Clapping shit.
Yeah, when I was running up,
we clapping shit.
But the first one, when you can see his face, I paused and I was showing my girl. I'm like, "Hey, look at the
That's my boy.
Hold up.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Sure,
I
but
be doing
nah,
the same shit though.
but yeah, and then just watching the trailers and pausing it on that little 1 second part for him actually acting like right next to Wiz, like Wiz grabbed him, like come here, little nigga, put him on his ass. You know?
Yeah.
They're gonna be.
Yeah, Wiz did that.
I'm gonna probably mess with him about that forever, man.
Why not? That's a good reason.
Just because I know he would never let nobody play with him like that.
Yeah. Thank you for even saying that. 'Cause I don't get no funny ideas. Please don't. I'm peaceful for the most part, bro.
But nah, man.
And I'm grateful to all of you guys. I'm grateful to all my brothers and sisters from Chicago, West Side. I would never be able to do that without you. And if I do anything, it's now thanks to you. So
Yeah, we definitely, I hope you. I don't know what you got planned and slated for the future. You know what I'm saying, but any future Chicago projects, you know what I'm saying. You got, you know what I'm saying, a Chicago family ready to back you up. So.
Absolutely, we love you out here, Miss Yelena.
thank you.
And Alex, bro.
Before you guys get up out of here, Bobby Hill, let people know where they can find you on social media, where they can find the music. Miss Yelena, let them know where they can find the movie, where they can find everything.
Moses the Black,
At Moses the Black, the
at
movie.
Moses the Black
movie. Yeah.
That's it. That's where you can find us.
Yeah, and I got JMB Bobby Hill or Bobby Hill on like Instagram, TikTok, all that shit. And I got an EP out right now called Zone 2-3. 9 songs. Is a very quality put together. Like if you listen to it, you can play it from the beginning to the end. It's not that drill shit. I ain't with that drill culture.
Oh well, that's all you.
That's me. So you heard like a Young Thug verse on that.
That is Thug, boy.
That's me. I ain't even know my voice did that type of
Bro,
shit.
that sound like a feature, I'm sure.
Nah, bro, that's me. That's my work.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite songs on that is Make Believe, because it's like, you know, hold on, flashing light, flashing light, big stages plus the movie screen. This ain't Make Believe, bro. And like, that's some shit I wrote on paper, bro, before this project all came together and shit. And I experienced everything that I wrote on that paper. Like,
That's cool.
That shit
He writing shit, goddammit. Write me. Write me $1 million. 290 more, big ass studio.
That's the young forecast, man.
For sure.
That's the
You
young
know that.
forecast.
Everybody enjoy the rest of y'all evening. In a minute.
Peace.